Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast, your weekly podcast where two guys who don't know what they're talking about dive into the gaming world. My name is Lord X, of course, and joining me, he is a man who is not Rudy Tooty Booty, unless he's face-to-face with Sasha Banks. It's Israel Pacheco.
Oh my god, you put me on the spot with that one. But yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Unless I'm faced with a certain situation with a certain female wrestler.
Mm-hmm. So how you doing this week, man? Aside from the Sasha situation.
I'm doing I'm doing pretty good. I was sick for most of the week, but it was a great weekend last weekend, even if I was sick with NXT and the Rumble and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not too much gaming at all, as you'll see once we get into the first section of the show in a little bit. But yeah, not too much gaming this well, it's been like 2 weeks at this point, right?
Yeah, we took a little week off there because, you know, we had a big wrestling weekend. You did anyway.
Well, I did. Yeah.
Which was great and will probably be talked about on the next static screen whenever me and James are able to record that.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's dive into this episode of the podcast, and we're going to start off as we always start off with what we've been playing, which, as Izzy has already said, hasn't been much. What did you scrape the bottom of the barrel with this week, Izzy?
The first game I have here out of two is Oddworld New and Tasty. Ooh. On the Vita, which is a game that I purchased a very, very long time ago when it came out on PS4 and PS3, I believe. It might have just been PS4 at the time. But I saw it on PS4. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, because I've always been aware of the Oddworld franchise since the PlayStation days, the original PlayStation. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, I never picked them up. I never owned any of the games. But I remember seeing like Oddworld back in the day. So this one interested me, but another one of those games that I bought and then months later ended up being on PlayStation Plus. I should have just waited. And the Vita version just came out recently, and I've been playing it, and it's pretty fun. It's a platformer, I would say kind of puzzle platformer. Yeah. Because you have different sections of the map you have to go through, and you have to figure out how to get past certain guards, and how to save some of your comrades in this like factory that you're in. But it's really cool. It's really charming. It's running pretty good on the Vita. It definitely is a downgrade, because I briefly played the PS4 version when I tried to do like a Let's Play a long time ago with my little brother, but it didn't end up working out because the video or audio quality was all messed up. But it's definitely a downgrade to be able to run on Vita, but it does look nice. So it is like a remake of the original Oddworld game from the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. So it's pretty good. It's definitely one of those games you could pick up and play, because the developers specifically said when they ported it to the Vita, they broke things up into smaller chunks. So you could play it here and there, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Maybe every few nights I'll hop on and go through a few levels. But it's pretty fun. I'd recommend it. If you guys got it on PS Plus, I don't remember exactly when that was. Sometime last year, right? Yeah. It is cross-buy, cross-save, I believe. So that's another game. So if you downloaded it on PS4, you'll get the Vita version for free.
Very, very nice. That's quite awesome. Well, since you went with the Vita, I'll go with the Vita too to begin with. Some people actually still play the Vita, folks. Deal with it.
It's a miracle.
Somebody has to. I played another chapter of The Wolf Among Us. Not very much, I know, but yeah, slowly making my way through that, and essentially just scraping together another platinum trophy. That's the only real reason why I'm replaying it, I'll be absolutely honest.
Platinum trophy whore.
Damn right and proud of it.
Damn. So, speaking of episodic games, the other game that I have here, last game for this week is Jesus. Is Life is Strange Episode 1. I played through that sometime last week, was it? When the physical release came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. Like, it's unique to see the game from a female perspective, particularly a, teen to young adult female perspective. The whole rewind mechanic was interesting. But to be honest, it didn't get me hooked on the first episode. So it kind of got rotated out of the collection already. But I'll probably pick it up down the line whenever it goes on sale. PS Plus has been doing a lot of sales recently. So whenever they do like the season on sale for like $10 or whatever, maybe I'll pick it up. But just right now, I'm just not in the mood to play it. Like, I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It was unique. But I wasn't really motivated to continue and play the rest of the episodes in the series. But it's something different. It's definitely unique. I did like I said, the rewinding mechanics, and the interactions between the characters and stuff. The dialogue is like, your typical like teenage young adult dialogue. It's written pretty well, and it's not written like it feels goofy. Like sometimes you read stuff that's aimed towards young adults and you're like, come on. Yeah. But this is written pretty well. But yeah, I don't see myself going back to it anytime soon. That's why I got rid of it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it for me this week. I'll kick it over to you for your last game.
Oh, well, that just makes me sad. Life is Strange is too awesome just to throw away like that. Anyways, the other game that I've been playing is Tearaway Unfolded on the PlayStation 4.
Nice.
I started that up late last week, and last night, actually, I dove into it a little bit more, and the game is still so very charming. It's got a little slightly different setup than the Vita version did, but I've been enjoying it. They make use of the light bar for one thing, which is amazing. Yeah, I'm having fun. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen and how they utilize the rest of the PlayStation 4 controller. Though something is telling me it's not going to be as good as the Vita version. I honestly think that the Vita version is going to be the definitive edition of that game, but still, it's enjoyable. And if you don't own a Vita, what the fuck is wrong with you, first of all? And second of all, if you don't own a Vita, pick up Tearaway on the PlayStation 4. It is worth playing by any means necessary.
Yeah, at least if they don't have access to an actual Vita, the PS4 version's the best next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then remember, folks, every time you buy a Vita, Gio Corsi earns a pair of wings. Alright, so that pretty much wraps it up this week for our been playing section. So, since tomorrow is February 2nd, that means, folks, that it is time for the games of February. And hot diggity damn, do we ever have a list for you this time, folks.
Jesus. This is a long list. This is the first big month of the year, I would say.
Yep, they start early this year, folks. This is the new merch. Alright, so, February 2nd, we begin with probably the most important game releasing in the month. American Truck Simulator, coming on Windows, Mac, and Linux. I'm excited for this one. I don't think my PC can run it, which makes me very sad.
That's really? It has like high specs?
I think it requires 64-bit Windows, which unfortunately I'm not running, which I'm an idiot anyways.
That stinks.
But anywho, moving on, we have Cobalt releasing for Windows 360 and Xbox One. Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth, releasing for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. If you listen very closely, I'm sure you just heard Big Boss scream with delight. We have Dari, releasing on Windows, iOS, and Android. Gravity Rush Remastered, releasing on the PlayStation 4. Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, releasing on the PlayStation 4. Nitro Plus Blazers Heroines Infinite Duel, releasing for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Not a Hero on the PlayStation 4. Sorcery for Windows. And Tales of Symphonia HD for Windows. A good day to kick off the month.
Lord X is dying over there. There's too many games he has to talk about.
Too many. On the 3rd, we have Fortified, releasing for Windows and Xbox One. On the 4th, we have Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders. What? Releasing for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Sesame Street. For some reason, I thought
ABC, I killed ye. Alright, releasing on the 5th, we have XCOM 2 for Windows, Mac, and Linux. You get to kill your friends all over again while fighting the alien threat, who won because they went with the bad ending from the first game.
I'm still surprised that's not hitting consoles. Like, I'm really surprised. Maybe towards the end of the year they'll have like a complete edition once they release all the DLC and stuff.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's my bet. They put it on PC first, get the modding community in, yada yada yada, and they'll eventually work and put out a PS4 and Xbox One version.
Did the first one have DLC, or was it just like a standalone experience?
There was a little bit of DLC, and they had the expansion, Enemy Within. Okay.
Alright, that makes sense then.
Alright, releasing on the 9th, we have Alkahine's Gun for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Wrasslin, The Warriors of Legend for Windows, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy Pack for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. My God, my throat. My throat this week has been killing me.
It's gonna die. By the end of the show, Lord X is gonna be dead.
Lots of talking. It hurts. We have Dying Light, The Following for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. Firewatch for Windows, Mac, Linux, and PlayStation 4. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time for PlayStation 4. Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And Unravel for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I know you're excited for Unravel, is he?
Yeah, got that pre-ordered. The evil word, pre-order.
Pre-orders are still good, folks. There's good in them somewhere. Alright, moving on to the 16th. We have Layers of Fear for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Pillars of Eternity, The White March, Part 2 for Windows. Project X Zone 2 for the 3DS, no relation to my own series. Street Fighter V for Windows and PlayStation 4. The Escapist, The Walking Dead for PlayStation 4. And Tron Run/R.
What is this? I've never heard of this.
PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Is this based on the Disney property, Tron?
Yes.
He's dying over there. You want me to read the rest of the list?
Yeah. You continue on. It's hurting my throat way too much.
Okay. So on the 18th, we have Project Setsuna for the PS4 and the PS Vita.
I forgot to take that one out. That is Japan only. That's what that
okay.
A means.
All right. So they'll be getting that. We'll have to wait 3 years to get it. On the 19th, we'll be getting Fire Emblem Fates for the 3DS, which is as you can see by Lord X's woo. I can't even woo now. Highly anticipated by a lot of people. On the 23rd, we have Far Cry Primal for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I'm still on the fence about that one. Plants vs. Zombies Garden I don't know what was I about to say. Garden Warfare 2 for the PC, Windows, PS4, and Xbox One. On the 25th, we have Super Hot for Windows, Mac, and Linux. On the 27th, we have The Town of Light on Windows. And to be announced for the month of February, we have Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc for Windows. No longer a PlayStation Vita exclusive. That's kind of sad, but at least more people get to experience it. Enter the Dungeon for Windows, Mac, Linux, PS4. Ninja Senki DX, Windows, PS4, PS Vita. Rocket League finally comes out on Xbox One. Wow, really? I thought it had already come out on Xbox One.
Nope.
Wow, that's a big exclusive window for PS4.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead Michonne for Windows, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, iOS, Droid, Atari 2600, ColecoVision. It's on everything, guys.
Except for the Vita.
Except for Vita. I guess they gave up on the Vita after how all the other games have run. Hell, how all the other games run on hardware, strong hardware.
It amazes me that they can stick it out on iOS and Android, but can't get it on the Vita. What the fuck? Seriously. But anyways, massive month. Like,
I guess we could get into the stuff that we want.
Yeah.
What's some of the stuff that you'll be picking up?
Well, I'm picking up Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. Really excited for that one. Go Idea Factory and Compile Heart. Firewatch, the indie. That's definitely a pickup for me right there as well. And other than that, maybe Project X Zone 2 if I'm able to really afford it. However, fuck me. However, on the 19th, I'm actually buying Fire Emblem Fates, the special edition, which is costing me $100. Plus, I'm also picking up the Fire Emblem Fates special edition new 3DS as well, which costs $238 here in Canada. So,
is this the XL or the regular version?
Yes, XL.
Okay, all right.
Fuck that little shit.
It looks pretty nice, but
it has dragons onto it. That's all. That was
sometime this month too. Is it this month also that the Pokemon games come out on the
Yes, they do. That's
Pokemon Red and Blue and
Yellow.
I think also Yellow.
Yep.
And they're doing those special 3DSs. I was tempted, but that would be my 5th 3DS purchase. Ridiculous. I've got rid of all of them. Anyway, for me, the first one here is Unravel. When is that? That's on the 9th.
Yep.
Getting that on PS4. Also on PS4, I'll be getting Street Fighter 5. Love fighting games, so that's like a given pretty much.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not really excited for it, to be honest. And maybe Firewatch on PS4. I might pick that up, but nothing really else pops out for me. There's a bunch of stuff coming out in April, so
yeah,
I'm just waiting. Pretty much saving my money and my time until April, because that's when,
everything.
So much stuff coming out. Yeah.
Well, there is one thing that's not releasing in February.
Oh yeah. The
Mighty
boobies.
Number 9.
I was about to say the boobies Dead or Alive. That got pushed right till March.
Yeah, it got delayed till March, which is makes me kind of happy now because I was able to afford that new 3DS. So yeah, I'm not too angry at that. Just people have to wait a little bit longer for Extreme Beach Boobies 2. That's all. But yeah, it's a great month. I'm excited for XCOM 2. Fortunately, won't be able to play it myself, but I am looking forward to, the mass amount of Let's Plays that will be going up, people going through it. So I am looking forward to watching those.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Far Cry Primal. Like, I keep watching gameplay videos, and it just looks really fun.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to wait till Horizon Zero Dawn to get my fix for the strange dinosaur-like game. Even though Far Cry Primal, they haven't confirmed it yet. I'm wondering if there's, how other Far Cry games have some strange mystical stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like the last one, you went to like Shambhala, and then in 3 you went to I forgot where, but with all like the hallucinogenic drugs and stuff. So I don't know if there's gonna be like a section of the game you just randomly run into dinosaurs or something. There has to be something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be disappointing if they didn't. Maybe the next game, Far Cry 5, will be on a dinosaur island. I wish, but
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Looking to be like the first, big month of the year, and then leading into March, and then April, of course. Yeah. Even May and June, there's some stuff coming out.
Yeah. You know what else I am looking forward to? Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth. Our friend here and also co-host of Glitched Out when he's able to record, Big Boss. He's picking that up, so check out his Twitter feed. I'm sure he'll give you guys a lot of details onto it, how good it is. I've been hearing great things about it, so...
Yeah, I saw the trailer on the PlayStation YouTube channel, and it looked pretty cool. At least the animated cutscene, so it like caught my attention, and then it showed like gameplay, and it wasn't as impressive.
It's turn-based RPG. That's what makes it awesome.
Not that, but I mean in terms of its graphics, like it being on PS4, I thought it would be maybe a little bit more impressive.
Well, it was a Vita game.
Since it's on both and it started on Vita, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, it's if I do pick it up in the future, I'm probably going to pick up the Vita version.
That makes sense. It looks like a portable game, Pick up and play. Usually RPGs are good for that too.
Yep. Alright, so I guess that's it. So we can dive into the news. And Izzy, why don't you tell us the first one?
So this is a rumor that's going around, which I think we actually mentioned something like this maybe back when we talked about like our predictions for the NX or what we would like to see happen.
I think so, yes.
At some point, we mentioned that why don't they just port over Mario Kart, like the latest Mario Kart, and continue it on the NX, and do the same thing with Smash Brothers, because by all accounts, the latest Smash Brothers is like the best in the series, and it's also got the biggest roster. They've put so much time and effort into this one. So the rumor, now after I get through that long drawn-out intro, is that Bandai Namco is working on an NX Smash Brothers game for launch.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is definitely going to be a port. There's no way in hell this is a brand new Smash Brothers. So any news sites that are out there, like IGN and Kotaku and all those places talking about a new Smash Brothers, they just wrapped, the latest one. No, they haven't even wrapped it yet. We're still waiting on like Bayonetta, right?
Yeah, Bayonetta and Corrin.
So I see this being like a quote-unquote Game of the Year version with all the DLC included, packaged onto a disc, ported over to the NX, maybe with some, enhancements to like the resolution and the graphical fidelity. There's no way in hell this is a brand new game. Like, Sakurai was working on this game for years, both on the 3DS and the NX. And I think this might be cool too, because some of the limitations that the game had was because they had to run characters on both platforms. So now that this is going to the NX, maybe we'll see the return of the Ice Climbers, because I know that was like something they couldn't do because they couldn't get them running on the 3DS from what I heard. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious this is going to be a port. There's no way this is a brand new Smash Bros. It just doesn't make sense for them to invest into a whole new Smash Brothers. It just, it doesn't make sense, like both like financially and like time wise. Like if you want to have this ready for launch, which the NX is rumored to launch either at the end of this year, maybe spring of next year, there's not going to be time for you to do a brand new thing. It'll just make sense for them to port it over, and I hope the same thing happens with Mario Kart, to be honest. And they continue to roll out content for Mario Kart. It just brings new life to a lot of games.
Agreed. Yeah. I think it really does make sense if they do it. It's an easy way to just increase their launch lineup. They need new shit in there as well. A new Mario.
Yeah, of course.
Zelda.
That's a given.
Zelda, Wii U, NX port, that kind of thing.
Smash Brothers port, Mario Kart port, brand new Mario, maybe brand new Metroid.
Mm-hmm. Just don't port over something like Amiibo Festival. We don't need that Animal Crossing shit. All right.
I was about to say that. Imagine like put a bunch of resources to port over like Game and Wario and some stupid garbage. Yeah.
Devil's Third now on the NX.
Enhanced resolution with a consistent frame rate this time. Oh jeez. But there's been so many rumors this week circulating about the NX. There was this, of course, stuff about Smash Brothers. The rumor that there's going to be like a launch that's going to be different to the typical launch, where we're going to get the handheld portion of the NX this winter, or this fall, I should say, and then we would get like the console version sometime in the spring. So it's going to be two separate pieces that are sold individually. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. Like, that seems interesting because it's never been done before. Because this whole NX concept is really new. So say if they drop it this fall, but like, are you really gonna want to play your Smash Brothers like definitive edition on your portable? I want to play that on my TV.
Yeah.
You want to play the brand new Mario like on your portable? Hell no, I want to play that on my TV. Like, same thing with Zelda. Like, it'll be a great option for you to take that with you on the road and just keep playing with it. But for the majority of the time, I want to have that experience on a TV. But it's interesting. Do you think they're gonna do that? Have like a split launch?
I don't. I honestly don't. And if they do, it's going to be the other way around. You're going to get the console version first, then the portable version. Because if you look at things right now, they have a big year for the 3DS this year. Like, they have games all the way through, and they're looking pretty damn good. The Wii U, on the other hand, they might get through the first half of the year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, so they got Pokken coming out in March. They got Twilight Princess HD in March. They got Star Fox in April if it doesn't get delayed. And that's about it for the rest of the year. We don't know for sure when Zelda's coming out. There's no really hard release dates on anything else.
Yeah, we don't know when Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem's coming out.
If ever.
It will be, goddammit.
Jesus.
It will be this year.
That game's been it's been forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, though, there's lots of rumors swirling around, though nothing necessarily coming from anybody definitive, like...
Yeah.
But, I think there was a survey put out from GameStop, which is, like, probably the biggest indicator that we're actually going to get the thing this year. Though we've got to learn about it soon, like... March or April, they have to like do some kind of event to say it's coming. We've got more news at E3, but here's a brief little sample. Yes, we're working on a new system. Please don't forget about the Wii U. Please buy a Wii U.
The only thing I hope they have is backwards compatibility, and that'll be with all, like, since I've gone digital with all my at least your digital purchases, and have some kind of infrastructure there for you to just link your account like you can on PlayStation, or re-download things. Because to be honest, it's been, at the end of this year, it will be 4 years into the life cycle of the Wii U, which is probably one of the shortest console generations, to be honest. It's been this August, it'll be 3 years since I have my Wii U, so that's not that long of a time, to be honest. So I hope they offer some backwards compatibility, but maybe this Smash Brothers thing is an indication that they won't, because they'll just release a new fancier version. Maybe they offer both versions, like,
maybe it just all comes together in one
yeah, it just all works. It's interesting. I'm very excited to see what they got in store. Like, just when was it? Yesterday or the day before? I was watching the Gaming Historian episode on Satoru Iwata.
Yeah.
And man, like, it was so sad. And just to see like everything that he put in place before he passed away, and how we're gonna see this year, like, all those things come to light. Like, you know, the mobile initiative, you know, the brand new NX, you know, initiative. Like, I'm really excited to see. There's so many questions up in the air. Like, they got to hit it out the park. Like, the name has to be something stellar. Like, it just has to make sense. Can't be confusing. The price has to make sense.
It will be the Wii U Plus.
Oh my god. They're done out the gate. Like, the control scheme has to make sense. They don't have to have, you know, like the tablet style controller. There's so many things they have to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for it though. Like, I want to see.
Yeah, me too.
But to be honest, like, if it drops this year, man, that's kind of rough, because the PlayStation VR is supposed to drop this year, and that's going to be, I'm sure, either around the same price or more of the NX. So.
Yeah.
And then there's so many great games launching on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. So it's a very competitive market.
Very much so.
I'll be interested to see how it does. Like, I know, like, there was some backwards number crunching done about what the Xbox One has sold, and it basically was around like somewhere between 19 and 20 million. PS4's at 35 million, so the NX coming out of the game with 0 consoles sold. Like, it just,
oh boy,
man, this is a big gamble, like a very big gamble, because we're almost halfway through the life cycle of the Xbox One and the PS4. Like, this year is like the halfway point, typically. So yeah, there's so many things up in the air. I'm very excited.
Yep. Please be excited for the NX, folks.
Oh no.
All right. Well, moving forwards, our next news story here. We got the free games for February 2016 for PlayStation Plus. That's right. And the lineup is, for the PlayStation 3, you get Grid Autosport and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So you get a Persona game, folks. It's the fighting one, but it's still pretty damn cool. On the Vita, you get Nova 111 and Lemmings Touch, because everybody loves Lemmings. And on the PlayStation 4, you get Nom Nom Galaxy and Helldivers Democracy Strikes Back, which is also cross-buy with the PlayStation 3 and the Vita. So, a pretty solid month, I think.
Yeah, pretty good with Helldivers, which I bought like a month ago, which at this point I've gotten rid of the disc version. So this is, and I got most of my money back, to be honest.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool. And then Nom Nom Galaxy, I don't know too much about it, but it looks interesting. So we'll see. We always complain about the PlayStation Plus month.
Yeah.
Seems like it lately, but it's a pretty good month. To be honest, I have not been downloading any of the PS3 titles for like the last 6 months. I'll download the Vita stuff because I can hop on quickly with that one, and then the same thing with PS4. But
just log into the web browser store and just quickly click the PS3 stuff.
True. But you're in there for like 10 minutes trying to load that. Last time I went on the PlayStation Store to download Yakuza 5, I was like, oh my god. I forgot about this. But it's cool, though, because it brings an influx of people into Helldivers, which came out last year. And I've been wanting to play it, so maybe we could both hop in and play some co-op.
Oh, indeed.
Sometime soon and try that out, and then give everybody our impressions of the game. So, good lineup.
Yep. Quite happy with it myself. And, well, that's what I'm happy about. But, Izzy, what are you happy about?
Yes. So, spoilers. well, I'm not going to spoil that video, but anyway. Finally, it has been officially announced. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan by Platinum Games, being published by Activision. It's coming this summer. Last I saw, it said on Amazon sometime in September. So pretty late in the summer. But we got the official announcement, we got some screenshots, and we got an announcement trailer, which was freaking awesome.
The official leak from Platinum.
It is so fun. Basically, they're doing what they did with Transformers Devastation, but with the Ninja Turtles. It's got a cel-shaded art style, very reminiscent of like the comics. They also have one of the writers from the comic series, from the latest comic series, actually writing the story, which is really cool. Some information I heard about that. That's really sweet. It's gonna have your typical Ninja Turtles. It looks like it's a mix of all the different turtles, like the old school classic comic ones, the cartoon ones, all the different generations of those, the movie ones. And it looks super fun. Like in the trailer, you see like Bebop and Rocksteady, like they're pulling from everything, and it looks awesome. And also, what's even more awesome is that there's online co-op. So, I cannot wait to play this game with some of you guys. It's going to be so fun. Huge fan of the Turtles when I was a little kid. Still to this day, I really got to be honest, and I don't really follow the latest cartoon series or like the latest ones. But I've always enjoyed the Ninja Turtles, and I like Platinum's gameplay for their games. Like, it's super fast paced combos, craziness. I cannot wait to play this game in the summer. Hopefully it doesn't come out that late, to be honest. I don't want it to come out in September, because by then that's when the big games start coming out. So maybe they push it closer to July, August, and
July would be a sweet spot, I think.
It would be a sweet month for that. But yeah, the trailer, I was already hyped from the screenshots, and then I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, they got me. I'm in. This is day one. I'm buying it. Even if it ends up being straight up garbage, I'm buying it. It looks super fun. Of course, I do have some reservations.
Mm-hmm. Not everything Platinum puts out is a hit.
Yeah, which I've seen in the trailer in particular, and that is that the city looks very barren. Mm-hmm. Which was one of the issues with Transformers Devastation, to be honest, which was really fun. I really enjoyed that game. But when you go through New York City, it was very barren, and that's what it looks like in this trailer too. So maybe it's just like a very dumbed down open world. That's like the rumors that's going around. That's an open world game. But it's going to be on multiple platforms: PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, PC. So for them to have to scale it to all those different platforms, I could see maybe they're focusing more on the combat and the move sets and all that, instead of having a bunch of people around, which is the same thing, because even when you played like the original Bayonetta, some of the areas were barren. Like, they look gorgeous, but there wasn't a lot of people around, because she was going between different dimensions, like the whole like, I can't remember the specific names, but you know what I'm talking about. She'll jump back and forth between them. But maybe it's something like that. But it looks fun. I can't wait. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year. Day one buy for me.
I'll probably pick it up at some point. If the reviews are good and the price is right, maybe a day one purchase too. I'll be honest.
I think it's launching at $49, like Transformers Devastation did.
Okay, then it'll be something I definitely wait on reviews for, but I am looking forward to it. Alright, so let's move into our final news story here, which is rather interesting. And that is that Insomniac has a new game called Song of the Deep, and it's being published by GameStop. That's right, folks. GameStop is publishing a game. That's right. The release of Insomniac's game's new title, Song of the Deep, is going to be an experiment for the developer. Instead of being released through a traditional publisher, Insomniac has teamed with GameStop for what Ted Price calls a non-traditional developer-publisher relationship. No shit. So, while GameStop has no creative control over the game, the company is handling Song of the Deep's promotion and marketing. And the physical copy of the game will only be available at GameStop stores. EB Games here in Canada. But you'll be able to get it as a digital download on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And the game itself is looking quite interesting. It's a passion project for Insominac and is a underwater side-scrolling exploration game, kind of, like a Metroidvania, following the adventure of Marilyn, a 12-year-old girl who builds herself a small submarine to search for her missing father, and along the way discovers a new world and lost civilization. So, what do you think of this, Izzy?
It's interesting. It's kind of a really odd situation, because like you said, they don't have any creative control over the project, and Insomniac is gonna keep, I guess, the rights to this game, and then it's gonna be released on multiple platforms digitally, but the only way to get a physical version will be through GameStop. So I guess this is going to be for the collectors pretty much.
Yeah.
If you want to have a physical release for this game, because if GameStop's the only retailer that has it, they might be in short supply. But you could always buy it digital, so maybe the price doesn't go up. But collectors, they have to have everything.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of a strange situation. I don't know why they had to go to GameStop to get this out there.
Well,
Maybe they didn't want to go to Kickstarter. Maybe they couldn't find some publisher to put this out there for them. Maybe they went to Sony. Sony was like, make us another Ratchet and Clank. Put Ratchet and Clank in this platformer and you could sell it.
Well, they do say here that the partnership was built out of a conversation between Price and GameStop's Mark Stanley. The two met at Insomniac's Burbank offices, where Price told Stanley about the idea for the game. Stanley and the GameStop team were excited about the game's story, visuals, and mechanics, and in an opportunity to find a new way to reach their audience, set out to help Insomniac release the game. So,
yeah, I guess this seems to me like GameStop trying to do a good gesture.
Yeah,
that's what it seems to me, because how are they making money off of this? Like, I don't know. It seems like a very strange situation. The game, the concept seems interesting, but in a world where we have so many Metroidvania games coming out at this point, it's like
but you see, there's more to this as well. Beyond just the physical disc, GameStop locations will sell tie-in toys, pop vinyls, and other Song of the Deep merchandise. So, looks like they got the merchandise rights there as well.
Okay, so they're trying to really hit it off with this new, what looks like to be maybe a franchise. I don't know. It's kind of strange that they're putting already merchandise out for a game that doesn't have a track record. But
yeah, I am digging the look of the game though.
It looks interesting, but like I said, there's so many 2D platformers, side-scrollers, Metroidvania games. Like last year we had like Axiom Verge, we had Ori and the Blind Forest. And nothing against those games, it's just there's so many, it's a crowded market at this point, to be honest. But it's cool that they could do something different that's not, Ratchet and Clank or anything else. They've kind of had a tough time, to be honest, for like the last decade. Ever since they started working on the Resistance franchise, and that never really took off for them, unfortunately. And then they had like, Fuse?
Yeah.
Right? That just was terrible. Then they did Sunset Overdrive, which was really fun, really unique, but nobody really cared.
Yeah.
It came out like I guess too early in the Xbox One's life cycle, maybe. Maybe if that would have dropped this year, it would have been more successful. But
I've heard people talk about it too, and they're like, it looked fun, crazy, and over the top. But it was like the traversal was just, like in Insomniac that's the studio, Lord X. Yeah. Like, it was a lot like Infamous, and the weapons, though they looked funky and over the top, were just, like regular weapons, just with color coding onto them, essentially. And the story had one too many, you're in a video game, ooh. Yeah. Actually, I think that might have been Aberjam.
I think I played through maybe a third or halfway through it. Yeah. I just picked it up maybe sometime in December when it went on sale. Yeah. Picked up the digital version, so I looked to get back into it. But what I played, it was really fun, and it was funny. It was entertaining. It was something unique. So I guess it's a shame. I hope they find something that really clicks with people. The last thing that seemed to really click was Ratchet and Clank. That was the PS2 generation in terms of both like critical acclaim and commercial success. So wish the best to Insomniac.
Yep, indeed. And folks, that's gonna do it for the news this week. And we're gonna wrap up this podcast with our topic of the week. And our topic this week is something near and dear to our hearts. And definitely an inspiration behind Glitched Out. And definitely an inspiration way back when I created the Canuck podcast. And that, of course, is that this past week, last Tuesday, a week ago, not this last week, but we saw the final weekly episode of Outlaw Gamer Radio over on outlawgamers.com. Brent and Lauren, two awesome guys, doing that podcast for 50 long episodes, which was amazing and great. Before that, they did the X Factor. Brent, of course, who did Epic Battle Cry with Tony Grice and Daniel Kaiser as well. And this week, we essentially kind of saw the end of an era. They said that they will be doing future episodes, but they'll be here and there and not weekly. So we thought this week here on Glitched Out, we would take a little bit of our time and just say a thank you to them for providing us with hours upon hours of entertainment and, just being a great inspiration to us.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. Thanks to Lauren and Brent for so many years, man. Like you said, 50 episodes of this show and nearly 200 of the X Factor. And before that, 250 episodes of Epic Battle Cry, which was where I originally found out about these guys way back in the day.
Ditto.
It was probably early on, somewhere in like the heyday of game trailers, back when that was a big thing back in the day. Because it's kind of weird how I look at my history with like gaming and gaming culture, and how my how I've become more and more enthusiastic over the years. I guess more, how should I say, like more involved, more in depth, like more into this. Like the first podcast that I ever listened to was Side Scrollers from Screw Attack, and I found them because of the Angry Video Game Nerd video. And of course, at the time, Screw Attack had a partnership with Game Trailers to do some top 10s. To do the Angry Video Game Nerd videos, so I would always go to Game Trailers and I would watch some stuff every now and then, maybe some Invisible Walls back in the day when that was still a thing.
Yeah.
Even before that, though, I found the Epic Battle Cry show. Like one day, I just said, I'm getting into podcasts now, right? So I like this format of people just talking, and I could listen to it on the go or just sitting in front of the monitor, my computer monitor. So I started listening to Epic Battle Cry and really get into it. And all those Side Scrollers was, a great show, and it was fun, and they were always cracking jokes, and they had different segments and stuff. Epic Battle Cry was like, they really went deep into like the industry and like how things work and the mechanics behind the scenes, and just discussions in terms of like a business perspective. Is this good for the industry or just the culture as a whole? And that really like sparked my brain. And those early seeds that were planted by that, of course, led to me like doing this podcast with you, and and then like my YouTube channel and getting on camera and doing things like that. So it was all like baby steps leading into like me delving into this world myself and just becoming even bigger fan. And then of course, unfortunately, Epic Battle Cry ended up finishing on their 250th episode, if I'm not mistaken, which has to be like one of the saddest experiences I've ever had. I still remember listening to that last show and choking up so many times when DK and Brent and Tony, they were telling these stories about how they met and how this is the end of the era for them and how gaming brought them together. And the talking about the stories about like Metal Gear Solid and how that cemented their friendship and how they met through like different retail stores back in the day and stuff, like all those great stories. And of course they were still doing the X Factor because Lauren came into it probably somewhere around 2000, was it 8, 9, 10 or around there. He started doing like news posts on Epic Battle Cry, I should say the website Epic Battle Axe, excuse me. They'll do like news write-ups and stuff, and then they would do stuff on the Daily Slice back when they were still doing that on YouTube, and Jess Condon was part of that too. And they became friends, and he would every now and then be on Epic Battle Cry, and then they started doing their own show with the X Factor. That was a fantastic show. A continuation of Epic Battle Cry in a way. And then unfortunately the site closed down, and that was really sad because that was like that was definitely the end of the era. And then they started doing this show, Outlaw Gamer Radio. They started up the website. It's gotten a lot of support from the community, although I'm not on it as much as I should be, to be honest, but I always listen to the podcast. I'm kind of one of those people, the people that they always mention, oh hey, I never comment and stuff, but I do listen. That's me. I know you're on it way more. And
I'm on there constantly, like every day.
I've met some great people through it, through Epic Battle Cry. I met you. I met like Aussie Legend. I met like Amrit. People like that, and it's just really, really awesome that you met all these people and like talked to them through like Skype or through like PlayStation Network, done podcasts and stuff with. It's just like a great community. Like it's cool to go on there because you don't feel like one of these IGN message boards. You go on there and like if there is like an argument, quote unquote argument going on, it's civil and good, and nobody's like attacking the other person. They're just going back and forth on the argument itself. It's great. It's such a wonderful community that was built around these podcasts. And you mentioned a few people, Aussie Legend, some others, Aberjam, Rowan, Esteban, Aaron B, who listens to this show, Lavitz, who also gave us a shout out. That was awesome.
That was read on the final episode. That was great. Very cool.
Tim,
yes, Tim Hillian, there on Twitter, also a listener and always chiming in on the comments. Thank you, Tim. So like the community that was built around like the podcast that Lauren and Brent and Tony and Daniel, what they did was amazing. And the community's still going, and I've actually seen Brent and Lauren the past couple of days get even more involved in the comments sections. Which is great, and I honestly cannot wait to see what they talk about next. And before I let you go back to you, the last 2 episodes of the podcast were incredibly special to me. On episode, I did this little, my Friday Night Fights video, I did a couple of specials. I did the first one, which was Lauren versus Brent, the Outlaw Gaming Society Wrestling Spectacular, and they mention it in the Sunset, the shout-out section of the podcast, awesome. Which brightened my day, made it epic, to be sure. And like a day after that, Brent is messaging me and asking me like, what's the possibility of a rematch? So I did up the video. I did a little trailer for it, put that out first, and I released the official video afterwards. They released episode 50 of Outlaw Gamer Radio. I got up before work and I checked the site. Oh, the podcast. So I'll click on there just to see if there was any brief mention. I scrolled through quickly. Didn't really see any mention of like the rematch video. I was like, oh, that's cool. I saw that Lauren liked it and Brent retweeted it when I sent it out. So that's cool. That's awesome. I didn't need another mention. I get home from work. I turn on the podcast and I start doing some other stuff. Cleaning, playing a couple games and whatnot. And then about 12 minutes in, Brent goes, we're also going to give you your SmackDown fix. I perked up a little bit, looked over at my computer, and the next thing I hear is Lauren shouting, yes, Lord X. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they start talking about it again and being so happy for the video and whatnot. I'm honestly really happy that they enjoyed it. It was really fun making it. Getting the thanks was really cool from two guys that I've been listening to for ages, that I've looked up to, that I've respected, that I've been inspired by to make these podcast videos. It was really cool, and Brent afterwards gave me a thank you in his own way by giving me some audio advice for fixing up the Friday Night Fight videos, which was incredible. And such an honor. It was great. So, for those two episodes, those two mentions, and just really enjoying and talking about the videos that I made, that was an awesome experience for me to get a shout out in the sunset and then essentially be put into the news section of their final episode was really, really cool and really heartwarming for me.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was listening on my lunch break when that happened. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna go crazy for this." It was awesome when I heard them mention you. But yeah, it's great. Like I was saying, also shouts out to DK for his new gig over at Unreal.
Yeah,
that's awesome because I know ever since.
No, that's not awesome. It's epic.
Unreal. I thought you were gonna say Unreal. Epic, good one. You got to throw in those puns, but yeah, I know ever since, the situation happened with Game Trailers where, it's no longer Game Trailers. I know, it used to be owned by, Viacom, MTV, but then I really don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't have no insight to this, but, he wasn't part of that no more. Mm-hmm. And I know he's been doing some stuff. He did it with the Retro Gamer magazine, which I got a few issues of that. When he was leading that, then he started doing the Go Kid Gamer stuff on online and on YouTube and stuff. Yeah. Now he's over at Epic with the, I believe he's working at the marketing team for the Unreal Engine, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Also, shouts out to Tony. I don't know what he's doing right now, but every now and then when they throw up a drive home breakdown, I really enjoy those discussions that they have, going to the movie theater or coming home from the movie theater. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Just all the guys have been part of it. Over the years, they've definitely been an inspiration for me. Like I said, it's kind of made me more of a passionate gamer than I ever was, because I've always been gaming. But it wasn't really until these shows that I really started thinking, why do I game? And starting to piece together my identity as a gamer, I love shooters, I love platformers, I love these types of games, I love these companies, when you start piecing things together, that was awesome, because I started listening to Epic Battle Cry. Probably was I had to be 17, 18, 19, around that time period. Had to be, it was around high school going into college. Now I'm 26, so it's nearly a decade that I was listening to these guys in some capacity. So it's really awesome what they've done, and like you said, the community that they've created and all the people that I've met through it and interacted with over the years. It's just awesome, and like you said, I'm looking forward to see what they talk about next. I'm sure they'll discuss once the PlayStation VR price is revealed, and the launch lineup and the launch day and all that, and even stuff when the NX is finally revealed. I'm interested to see what they think, because I know Brent Wasn't the biggest Nintendo fan for during the Wii U generation, but he's also mentioned that he's really enjoyed his 3DS, and for them to make a console that's essentially both a portable and a home console, it'll be awesome. I think he'll be intrigued by that. So yeah, huge shout outs to them. Just a big thank you to Lauren, Brent, even Tony, DK. It's just been awesome. So many years of listening to you guys.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, just another thank you from me as well. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of the podcast. We do have a comment, though.
Oh, nice.
From Aaron B., who we just mentioned there briefly. He says, great episode, guys. Thank you very much, sir. He says, I would be very interested in an anime series based off a Nintendo property. Star Fox, Zelda, Fire Emblem, and especially Metroid all have tons of potential. I'm not interested in Hitman 2016 at this point. The episodic nature has completely turned me off to the game. I loved Blood Money, awesome game, and completed Absolution, but I'm not enough of a fan to buy a season pass for the series. Maybe if it reviews well, I will pick up a complete package down the road. As for PS2 games I'd like to see on PS4, the first ones that spring to mind are the James Bond games, Nightfire and Agent Under Fire. They already brought a game I didn't expect to see, War of the Monsters, so hopefully they'll keep surprising me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So thank you very much for that comment, Aaron. We also had a comment from Izzy as well, who said audio quality is amazing.
Yeah, I listened back to last week's episode to see how it sounded after we tried this new recording format, and it does sound really good. And I enjoy the craziness that was the GTA footage, right? You had the Vice City footage.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to be here this week?
Oh, who knows?
Maybe Tearaway, because that's probably what I'll be playing.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, Izzy, why don't you tell the folks where they can find us and wrap up the episode?
So yeah, you guys can find us on this channel, Lord X Plays Games. You can find Lord X at _Lord X on Twitter. You can find me at youtube.com/IsraelPacheco89 or Twitter at IsraelPacheco89. Thanks guys for checking out this episode. Let us know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on any of the news topics that we talked about, any of the plethora of game releases for February, some of the games we've been playing, like Life is Strange, Oddworld, for example, Tearaway Unfolded. Yeah, and our topic of the week, are you guys fans of Outlaw Gamer Radio? Have you guys come over from that show and started listening to this one because of the great community over there? Let us know. Anything you want to know, and give us questions, give us comments, give us feedback. For Lord X, I am Izzy, aka Israel Pacheco 89, and this week we are glitching out.
Hit the lever!